There's so much credit content out there, but a lot of it does not even apply to Canadians. So in 2021, I'm going to be putting out more Canadian specific credit content because I know that there is a lot of demand for that type of stuff. My name is Radies, and if you're new around here, we cover things like investing, real estate, entrepreneurship, and just a bunch of amazing content that will really help you out in life. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can raise your credit score, as well as why it's important and how to really take advantage of credit. In the link down below, there's actually a free Discord channel that you can join and just network with other people. So let's get right into it. Credit. What is the whole thing? What is the whole point of credit? Well, credit is pretty much one of the most important things that you can ever keep track of in your life. You see, I'm quite young myself. I'm only 20 years old, and I made a huge mistake by not starting my credit journey earlier. Now, a credit score is basically how the banks and just lenders pretty much determine how responsible and safe of a person you are to lend money to. You see, the higher credit score you have and the better your credit score, the more money you have access to. You see, I made it a really important thing this year and as well as in 2020, and I actually even got a credit coach to help me with this because I understand how important this is. So you see, if you really want to check your credit score, there is a hard pull and a soft pull, or a hard check and a soft check. Now you see, you want to be doing a soft check because that will not actually affect your credit score. You see, every time you get your credit pulled from a credit bureau, you actually will take a hit. So I recommend using Credit Karma or Borrowell. These are two places where you can actually check your credit score without your credit being affected. Again, those are personally what I use. I'm not endorsed by them or affiliated. It's just two websites that I know, and they're apps, and I recommend using both of them. You see, if you are like me and you plan on investing into real estate, you really need to understand the importance of credit. When you're doing renovations for your investment properties, you're much better off using line of credits and credit cards. As investors, we need to always be leveraging money. And you see, the best way and pretty much the only way to leverage money is with credit. Line of credits and credit cards. Home equity line of credits. And again, all these products are not going to be just hand-fed to you unless you have good credit. So what is your credit even based off of? What determines your credit score? Well, like I said, the highest credit score you can have is 900. And if you want to really hit that, you need to make sure you're paying everything on time. That means whether it's your credit card, whether it's line of credits, whatever that is, make sure you pay things on time. You see, a lot of people, they have credit cards and they just don't pay things in time. And then it's like they just forget, and then suddenly like their credit score takes a hit and they don't even know what happened. Another thing is canceling credit cards. Never ever cancel a credit card. There is really no point in canceling a credit card. You may as well just keep it around and just not use it, even if you do have to pay a monthly fee. The problem is a lot of people cancel their credit cards because they have a lot of unnecessary credit cards, and that actually affects your credit score, which again, big no-no, don't cancel your credit cards. Again, my credit coach has been able to tell me a lot of these things, so take it from me. Instead of me telling you, take it from my credit coach who's explaining this stuff to you, because a lot of the stuff I'm saying is just things I've learned from my credit coach. Another thing that's important is your credit history. So how long have you had a credit card for? You see, I made the mistake of not getting a credit card as soon as I possibly could, but eventually I did get one. So I would recommend the earliest you can get a credit card, or even multiple credit cards, go ahead and do that. Another thing is your credit limit. You see, it's one thing to have a credit card, but what is your credit limit? You see, if you only have one credit card and you can only spend, like, let's just say $500, chances are you're not really going to be able to do much with that credit card or with your credit history. So the higher your limit, the better. Let's talk about how you can instantly increase your limit. So this is a bit of a trick that my credit coach taught me, and this is pretty much becoming an authorized user. So if you have, a parent, a friend, a spouse, or someone who has a significantly higher credit limit than you, what you can do is obviously, talk to them and explain this. You can say, hey, do you think it would be cool if I could become an authorized user on your card? Now, an authorized user pretty much means that you can actually use their credit card and you will actually carry on their credit limit. Again, there is a lot of risk with this because, hey, if you are irresponsible and you just go and you ask your parents to make you an authorized user and now you have access to, let's say, $10,000 in credit, don't use it, okay? Make sure you tell them and you have an agreement in place that says, hey, yes, I want you to make me an authorized user. I won't use the card. I just want it to be there so I can have that credit limit increase. Now you see, this is actually something called the piggy bank method, the piggyback method, because in a way you're kind of like on a piggyback. They're kind of like helping you out in that sense. So I recommend using this again if you feel like that person could really help you out. And again, Only do this with like, your family members or, someone who you're really close to and you can really trust. Another thing I would recommend doing is, again, if you want to increase your limit, make sure you explore all the options you have. One thing I've been doing with my credit coach is my credit coach actually will help you get approvals for credit cards and line of credits. Again, I'm not saying you have to use my credit coach or get a credit coach, but what I'm saying is a tactic that we use is strategically applying to multiple different credit cards and banks, and this way we'll have more credit limits. You see, the big banks, they don't really talk to each other. So if you have a credit card at TD, BMO or Scotiabank doesn't really know that. Using this, we're able to actually apply for multiple different products at different banks. Like I said, my credit coach is a god at doing this. I just completely get everything to him, and it just makes a lot of sense. Another thing to note is if you are actually a Seeking Success member, so a member of my course, you'll actually know that one of my students, Chris, who is a 19-year-old student, recently got access to $40,000 worth of credit just by following what's in that course. If you're interested, send me a DM on Instagram. Another thing to keep in note is your utilization. So if you have a credit limit of, again, $1,000, don't go over it, okay? It's a very simple concept. Do not go over it. And not only that, try not to hit 1,000 every single time, or try not to hit anything close to 1,000. Ideally, if you can keep it less than 80%, you're going to be much better off, because the banks will say, oh hey, this person's responsible, they're not actually close to hitting their limits every single time. What I personally like to do is I pay off everything properly, like literally within like 3 days or within the day of, because I'm always checking my apps to see, hey, do I have a payment that I can do right now? And I'm always paying things off as soon as I can. I recommend keeping track of it and make sure if you have multiple credit cards, get the apps and see if you can set reminders and see what type of different things there are. Because certain apps will actually have notifications to say, hey, you have this that just was posted as a transaction, and then just boom, just pay it off. Another thing to note is, hey, if you want to look at other options that you personally have, call all the banks that you're with and ask them if you have a pre-approval. A lot of the times you're already pre-approved for certain products, and all they have to do is just give you the product. So you don't have to do a hard credit check, and again, it's not really an application process. You're already pre-approved, so you're basically just getting free money. That's it for this video, and like I said, I'm going to be making much more videos about credit, credit cards, line of credits, and a lot of more credit-related financial Canadian content, because again, there isn't a lot of things out here for us Canadians, so I'm going to make sure I can do my best. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video, and until next time, remember, stay seeking success.